Hello, YouTube viewers. This is Reggie Jackson, aka Chess on the Brain, and I am here with Grandmaster Ray Robson. Ray, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So first of all, can you tell us, so how did you get introduced to chess, and how old were you?
Well, I learned how to play chess when I was 3 years old, and my dad is the one who taught me. And I think the reason he taught me is just because he wanted to have someone else to play with, and he didn't have anyone else who really played chess who was around him. So that's why he taught me and introduced me to the game. And yeah, basically I just played with him until I was around 7 years old, which is when I played my first tournament.
Interesting. So was it difficult learning, or was it like natural for you, just learn, being new to the game and understanding how the pieces move and how the objective of the game to checkmate the opponent's king? Was it natural for you to understand the process of chess?
I think the rules, I probably learned them relatively quickly, but I think anyone can. But I wouldn't say I became good at the actual game for a long time. And I remember I had one chess book for the longest time. I think it was called Chess in a Nutshell by Fred Reinfeld. And I read that book over so many times, and eventually I got better, and eventually I would get to the point where I could beat my dad occasionally, and then eventually, almost always. But at first I lost to him like hundreds of times before I ever won a game against him, so I wouldn't say that it was something completely natural for me.
Interesting. So can you think back, as a kid, especially when you were young, what was your first ever tournament? Can you think back the feeling that you were having playing your very first real rated tournament? What was the emotions like playing against someone that could possibly be higher than you, lower than you, or seeing so many people that was basically not new to this, knowing what they were getting into in these tournaments? What was your feeling like?
Well, I played my first tournament when I was almost 7 years old, and it was completely new to me. I didn't know about the chess clock, how you have to hit it and then they hit the clock whenever they move, and notation. I had absolutely no clue about that. All I had done prior to that was just play the game. So everything about the tournament atmosphere was really new to me, and so it was a little bit nerve-wracking for me being in that new environment. And I actually lost the 2 games I ended up playing in the tournament. So it wasn't the best start in that sense, but I kept playing after that because I wanted to, first of all, improve and do better than I did in my first tournament, and just because I really love playing the game.
Interesting, interesting. So how do you normally feel about playing now, especially with you being a high-rated grandmaster? How do you feel about playing open tournaments now? In general, you could be, paired off against anyone, but, when you think of open tournaments, anything could happen. IMs could win the whole tournament. FIDE masters that, sometimes might win. Anything could happen. What are your emotions when you think about, open tournaments?
Well, open tournaments have been a big part of my chess career and my chess development in the U.S. Up until relatively recently. And I played open tournaments almost exclusively until maybe I was, 25 or 2600 FIDE rating. And the reason I've kind of played less now is because, my dad and I have always kind of had this philosophy that I should play in the strongest competitions possible for me. So now that I'm at a point where I'm kind of the favorite in most of the open tournaments in the United States, I feel like that wouldn't really be the best use of my tournament time. So that's why I don't play as much now, at least in the US. But I do think that anything is possible in open tournaments, and they're very exciting. And obviously the US has a great open chess tradition.
Interesting, interesting. So now, because everybody knows about Webster University being trained by former world champion Susan Polgar, with her training methods, and how illustrious her training methods are. How do you train by yourself when you're not training with her? Like, what do you do? Do you go over openings, in-game puzzles, tactics, or all together, or do you have a set schedule? What you would want to work on? That'll be your weaknesses. Like, what is your training regimen like?
I would say as far as individual training, mostly it's on openings or analyzing my games because well, when I was younger, what I did, all the time was first of all I'd read chess books, and whatever chess books I could get my hands on, I would read them and reread them and reread them, and basically I was just constantly reading chess books or thinking about what was in them, and a lot of them were tactics. Some of them were like games, old games with Capablanca, Alekhine, and now I guess at a certain level we all have a kind of a base understanding. When you get to like the grandmaster level, we all know certain things, but the opening is one stage where it's constantly evolving. New games are being played every day, and obviously computers are really super strong nowadays, and they can help a lot in analyzing openings. And it's important to both be prepared in the opening and to come up with new ideas. So I would say a lot of the time I spend is on openings.
Interesting. So, I guess being here at Webster, knowing that the school, especially for chess players, is like one of the best. Learning from all, of all grandmasters of all nations and different backgrounds, but also the education part is very, very key and it's important. Was it difficult when you first came to Webster to balance chess and your studies at the same time, or was it like you had to, give yourself a set schedule, when to study, how to study, and all those, techniques, with you being new to college?
It can be a difficult balance. I think, I don't know, the freshman year, it's kind of, I don't know if it's helpful because at least in getting acclimated to the kind of regimen you need to have. And especially, I think for chess players, or at least for me, because I was homeschooled for a large part of my life, I wasn't really, I was used to the school schedule, but then I've kind of been away from it for a long time. So for me, it was kind of difficult to get back into it. And also, being a freshman, usually the classes aren't as difficult. So I think really when you get to second and third years, that's when it becomes harder to maintain your study schedule properly. But yeah, definitely you have to strike a good balance, and I think in the past few years I've done a much better job striking the balance between finding time for chess and studying and whatever other activities I want to do.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, can you tell us now, like, especially being at Webster, like, what are you studying and what do you want to do, like, after you graduate?
Well, my major is international studies with an emphasis in Asia. So, I'm actually planning to go to one of Webster's Asian campuses this summer. But as far as what I want to do after school, I've played chess my whole life almost, and definitely it's gonna be a part of my life no matter what I do. And as far as I can tell now, if I finish school right now, I'd probably still just be playing in tournaments. And I don't think I don't have any ambitions about teaching chess at the moment. That might be something I consider in the future, but there's still so much I can work on and try to accomplish in terms of just my tournament playing career. So I think I'd like to focus on that.
Oh, that's good. And finally, like, when you think about chess and education, especially for like the youth, do you think that having this sense of knowing chess and putting education, especially at a young age, that's implemented, do you think chess is important, or is a major key factor of why most people will become successful? Like, what do you think chess is now, you know?
Well, I think people can become successful without knowing how to play chess, but there are definitely a lot of benefits for children or for anyone who learn how to play. And yeah, like you said, especially at a young age, it's definitely beneficial in getting kids to think in a certain, logical way and see patterns, and it really helps with a lot of things like time management could be, although didn't help me. I think life and chess, they kind of both interconnect in a way, because like when I look at my chess deficiencies, let's say, I see a lot of the same patterns in my life, like what personal traits I'm not as good at, and becoming better at those helps me both in chess and in life. So I definitely think they're connected, and that it would be great if chess could be taught to kids in schools all around the United States. And unfortunately, we don't have a great chess tradition like there are in some other countries where, it's just kind of part of the culture and most people know how to play chess or have a general understanding of the game, which we don't have here. But yeah, if we could have that, that would be absolutely incredible.
Incredible. Well, Ray, thank you for your time, and hopefully we have you on.
Thanks.